I see you
Of
have
course, of
the
course.
hoodie with the jacket today. That's great.
Yeah. Shout out to
That's
Andrew Whitworth
does he does that too?
on Thursday
Does
Night Football. Yeah.
he does it on the sportscast on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah.
Packers played last night, and I didn't even I didn't even notice that because that group is so bad. I feel like
I like him. I like him. Richard Sherman's funny because he speaks a lot of truth.
he
Um,
tries too hard to be funny though. And then Tony
Ryan
Gonzalez is just
Fitzpatrick.
bad. I
Yeah,
like Ryan
he's not
Fitzpatrick.
ideal.
I
Yeah.
like Ryan
He's
Fitzpatrick a lot.
I don't even know who the chick is.
What was Micah saying? He's like, she could just do it herself. All right, folks. It's week 2 of Shameful Locks, brought to you by The Talk of Shame. My name's Tim Triplett. This is Gabriel Acosta over to
That is
my,
me.
what was that? That's my left, but it's their left too. Never mind. Last week, not great for me. Gabe's gonna run down the picks here in a second, but I just want to get out in front of this and say maybe sports gambling shouldn't be legal at the turn of the year for my
You
sake.
take that back. Take that back right
because
now.
I'm not gonna win any money. It's as simple as that. It's bad right now. Um, my record, as you'll hear in a second, has just declined even worse. Um, I need to only place bets that Gabe tells me to. I shouldn't be making my own decisions. That's what I'm trying to get at. Um, Gabe, before you run down the results from last week, any takeaways, anything you learned, any tips, tricks of the trade?
Yeah, definitely. Don't beat up yourself too much here because you went 0-2 and 1, and I only went 1 and 2. So like that was my worst week yet. It sucked.
It was my worst
Um,
week yet too, though.
didn't pick up a single win. That's tough. But yeah, without further ado, last week you had Illinois money line over Purdue, and like we both said, Purdue. If there's somebody who's gonna upset, it's gonna be Purdue.
Purdue's
They
Purdue.
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purdue, for sure. So that was an L. You had LSU -3. That was your tie of the week because they won by 3, of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
So voided that one. And then you had the over in the James Madison game. Uh, Good old JMU. I'm pretty sure it wasn't even close. I think it was like 34-3 or something like that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but
But
it
I
didn't hit
think
the
you needed
over.
like 50. No,
Yeah,
not at all.
no. Yeah. See, I went away from JMU. That was my. I went to JMU the first week we did locks, and they didn't hit the over because I bet the over on them too, and on that time too. And I was like, oh, it was JMU and Marshall had been scoring ridiculous points. JMU was scoring ridiculous points. I thought it was a lock, and obviously they let me down that time, and they let me down this past week too. So no more
What's funny
JMU
is I
this
made
year.
a college parlay this week, and I almost did the JMU under just because I've been watching them not score the over.
No, see what you should do is do a parlay, fading all of my locks each week. How let's do that. Let's do that math at some point. If you faded all of my locks, all what is it, 9 now?
You've got 12 total. You're 2-9
12
and 1 on
total.
the season.
Yeah, if you faded every single one of my locks, all 12 of them on the season this year, how much money would you have?
Definitely more if you tailed.
All right, how'd you look
But
on the
no,
NFL side?
yeah. So I had Seahawks money line, and before I get into this more, I know my picks they were like locks, but they weren't like the easiest picks. Like I did the Giants and the Cowboys to win. One of those two happened. So like anybody who would be out there thinking like, oh yeah, shit, no, duh. I hope he's gonna pick them as a lock. That's too easy of a lock. It's not. So I had the Seattle Seahawks to win as my dog of the week. Brady showed up and did what Brady does, of course, in
Uh-huh.
Germany. So that sucked. That hurt. Seahawks almost rallied. I was really excited for a hot second, and then I remembered the Seahawks stink, but they don't actually. I can't really tell. I'm in between there.
They're having a
Um,
crazy year right now. Yeah.
yeah, Geno looked like Geno Smith on the Jets when they played against the I almost said Broncos, the
Mhm.
Bucks. Other one I had the Giants money line over the Texans, and that hit. That was fine. No worries there. But my parlay was already ruined at 9:30 in the morning when the Seahawks lost, so I kind of stopped caring. And
Right.
then huge for your false hope here, the Packers upset the Cowboys,
Of
which
course.
that only ruins your draft spot at this point. I mean, what are you playing for?
I mean, I don't know. Future this year, who knows? We've been over this too much. I said fade the Packers last week in support of your Cowboys pick, and that fell through. I had the wrong week in mind. You should have faded them this week uh, against the
Look like
Titans.
crap.
Yeah, yeah, another bad night. Christian Watson seems to be breaking out a little bit though, which I like. But that seems to be the only guy that Aaron can throw an accurate ball to. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But
Jordan Love time. Jordan Love season coming soon.
I don't know how I feel about that. We'll cover that at another point. All right. We'll dive into this week. This is week 12 of the college football season. We're about to close it down, that regular season. This is the week before rivalry week. Rivalry week obviously will be very interesting to say the least. Looking forward to that a lot. And then this is week 11 of the NFL season. You're kind of, a lot of teams are starting to play for draft picks, like you just said, and it's hard to figure out what direction a team's moving, if they're making a push, if they're backing off or what. So, these locks are, if anything, they're going to get more difficult. With rivalry week and college football, in the last few weeks, everyone's fighting for bowl position and stuff, and then the NFL the way it is. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dive into college football. Before I do, though, I'd like to point out my Matt Grothe University of South Florida jersey. This will be a little more relevant here in a little bit, as I have a bonus pick today.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll start with my first lock. I like Florida and the points against Vanderbilt this week. At Vandy, which, as we've said in college football, home field advantage is huge, but it's Vanderbilt. So
just upset Kentucky.
Vandy has, if I remember the stats correctly, they have by far the worst scoring defense in the SEC, which SEC is one thing, but it's toward the bottom of all of FBS as well, which lends itself to points. Florida, very down year for sure, but once again, it's Vandy, and I think a 2-touchdown win there is feasible for them.
Minus 14 then.
Yeah, minus 14, and then the odds on that are minus 108. As weird as that is, but
I like it.
That's my SEC pick of the week. And then I like the TCU and Baylor over, set at 57.5. Well, a little sketchy on that one as I was thinking about it. But at the end of the day, my biggest, point I think was it's the Big 12. Big 12 loves points, especially these two teams. Baylor's scoring 34 points a game, almost 35. It's like 34.7 or something.
They scored 3 last week.
3 points?
They scored 3 last week.
I don't do enough homework. Anyways. But yeah, Baylor scoring 33 or 34 points a game with TCU. I think TCU wins that game, but I'm not betting on who wins the game. I'm betting on the points. I'm taking the points over at 57.5. That's minus 110.
Don't hate it.
And then we'll go out of the Power 5 for this one into the Group of 5. I like Charlotte money line over Louisiana Tech. Charlotte College University, whatever's down there, like green and white or something. Couldn't tell you their mascot, but the Charlotte basketball team is undefeated right now. There's a good feeling on Charlotte campus. It's at Charlotte. They're underdogs by 110, which isn't a lot. But I like a dog when I can sneak a dog in there and have some reasoning for it. I like sneaking a dog in.
Of course.
That's just, there's something special going down there at Charlotte right now. They were wearing the jerseys last night that just said CLT.
Big fan.
Yeah. So there's something special going on down there. There's some buzz coming out of Charlotte. I feel like a little bit of buzz down there in Charlotte, North Carolina. So those are my 3. Bonus pick tonight Friday night. I have USF to cover plus 14 against Tulsa. USF is 1-9. Tulsa 3-7. Just gonna be a kind of a shit fest, just
Garbage
a
bowl.
garbage bowl, But hey, football is football, and I love it to the end. So I'm gonna take USF to cover. I dug this thing out of the closet today because I was like, I kind of want to keep the jersey theme going from Alex Moran last week. This is just an obscure, odd jersey to have, but I saw it and I was like,
Where do you
I'm
even
betting
get
on
that?
I have no idea. I think I just had it at some point. I don't remember buying this. I don't remember coming across it. I don't remember being given it in any way. But yeah,
Just
USF to
materialized
cover.
in your closet.
It just kind of appeared one day. It might have been an old Aaron Rodgers jersey that just changed colors and numbers.
Over time, faded, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. No, this is Matt Grothy. This is back when, if you remember, I don't know if you remember, this is a while ago. In the AP poll, or the BCS poll. This is back when the BCS was a thing. USF was ranked number 2 for 2 weeks, 2 in the country for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Ohio State was 1, USF was 2 for a little bit. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what year. I might fact check myself and put a graphic down there, but yeah, USF has fallen mightily since then. But that's what it is.
Could be 2-9.
All right. Without further ado, the NFL. Let's get to it.
Yeah, so like I said, I went 1-2 last week, which was my worst week yet. I am now 8-4 on the season, which that sounds pretty good, but I'm not winning that much, mostly because I suck. But we'll go ahead here and roll with the first one. I like the Bears at the Falcons over 49 points. Bears are averaging about 30 points a game within the last month, and they have no defense. They literally got rid of Roquan Smith and was the other guy they traded the Eagles. I can't remember his name. Some Smith too, I think. Robert Quinn. Sorry about that. Yeah, Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. They got rid of him. They got nobody left on defense. Falcons don't suck at offense, and if they're missing a ton of secondary pieces like they have been the last few weeks, I think 49's super low. Like I said, Bears averaging 30 points a week. Give me over 49. I love it.
I like just a point on that. I like how there seems to have been a switch made in the past month, as you were saying, with how they're utilizing Fields. They were being so conservative with they were being so conservative with him before, I felt like, and trying to force him to be something he's not, sitting in the pocket trying to throw it downfield, which he's good at. Obviously you wouldn't be in the NFL if you couldn't sit in the pocket, but I think more designed runs, kind of using them a lot more like Cam Newton was used in Carolina back when he won his MVP. And I think it just fits him a lot better. And that's why I think you're seeing that spike in points in the past month, is because they've kind of turned that corner with him in play calling and utilization. So
I'm a big Justin Fields supporter, obviously, big Ohio State guy. And I just think the Bears are looking, they might not finish strong this year, but next year they have the most cap space by almost double whoever has second. They have like $130 million to do in cap space next season. And if they keep sucking, they're going to get great draft picks. So, huge upcome for the Bears, possibly. Not great to hear if you're a Packers fan, but
not great to hear for me. But the Bears haven't been anything since they lost to Peyton in the Super Bowl, so they need something.
Yeah, for sure. Next pick, this is my underdog pick of the week, which I don't really understand how they're underdogs. But Cowboys at Vikings. I like the Vikings. The Vikings are plus like 102 right now, last I saw. I'm just taking Vikings money line. The Vikings are 8-1. They just beat Buffalo. Cowboys are coming off a heartbreaking loss. Both games went in OT, so we're not going to hear any of the other team's more tired than the other. No, they both played just overtime games just last week.
Right.
So I think the Vikings, they're at home. I think they're a better team than the Cowboys. Cowboys got a brutal stretch coming up. They got so Vikings this week, which I'm predicting them to lose. And then they play again on Thanksgiving at home versus the Giants, which Giants are pretty good right now. So
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised to see Cowboys lose both of those, honestly. But yeah, Vikings money line at plus 102. And then my last pick of the week, Riding in on the Giants again. Giants -3 versus the Lions. Giants are home. It's going to be a cold weather game. I know I picked the Lions. No, I didn't pick them. I almost did. Like I said last week, I loved a lot of the picks last week, and I picked nothing but losers. But I picked. I did really like the Lions at the Bears last week, and the Bears blew it and lost because they missed an extra point. This week, I think it's going to be the opposite. Flip around. Giants at home in the cold. Jared Goff still sucks on the road.
Yep.
Giants have a defense. Bears do not. I think the Giants win by like at least 10 in this game, but the spread is currently -3.
You're not going to do an alternate on that, and
No, because that takes me into my last part here. If I combine these three picks, which I got the Bears, Falcons over 49, Vikings money line, and Giants -3, that comes in at plus 633.
It's pretty nice. What
is
that?
So $15, $10 pays out $63. I was going to put 15. Big spender this week.
Big spender, dropping $15 on a 3-leg parlay. Big spender. Yeah, I love it.
Won a lot of money on the Titans last night, so got to spend it.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I need a winning week at this point. There's no hope for me to salvage the season really at this point. I just need a winner in some way, shape, or form. 2-1, I'd be more than happy with. So
some technical difficulties there. I don't know, but it just kicked me out.
Yeah, it's probably my Wi-Fi. We're on a tight budget around here. We don't splurge for mega high speed or anything, which we probably should.
Well, you have to pay money for that, and that money can be used for anything else. So jot that down.
Exactly. Any final thoughts heading into week 12 college football, week 11 NFL?
Before you cut out there with the technical difficulties, you're sitting at 2-9-1 on the season. I think going above 500 would just be an absolute absurd task. Even if you went like 3-0 the next 2 weeks, you'd still somehow be below 500. But I think that's something you can definitely strive for. I'm 8-4 right now, and I just got to keep the boat rolling here. I have too many bad weeks like last week, so we'll see what happens.
Good enough. All right, from Mr. Gabriel Acosta, my name's Tim Triplett. This has been Shameful Locks, episode 2. We'll see you next week for rivalry week in the college football space. And what is that week? That's week 12 of NFL. I can't remember these weeks, man. I gotta have them written down in front of me. It's just one behind college football all the time. I don't know why it's that hard to figure out. But all right, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Go Bucks.
No.